Konnichiwa, this is the Shogunstein, and this is some initial thoughts on the Stonemaier game Stamp Swap. Say that a few times. This is a game with the theme, obviously, of stamps, and there's an element where you swap. So this is just some initial thoughts. First of all, we did pick this up at in the rubbish bin, 80% off bin. So game cost us about $7. So that's something I am going to consider in terms of this review. Full price, full retail price, at least on the sticker that I saw, was like over $30. So at $7, considering the components, the quality of the components, and just a nice organization tray. There's a solo mode. It's a nice overall presentation. It's just as you would expect from Stonemaier games. Definitely worth the $7. I would need to play this some more before I could say whether or not it's worth over $30. The instructions were very easy to follow. Also, there was a good watch it played with Rodney, and then there was, I think the name of the channel is Before You Play. They did a nice job. They did a nice playthrough, and between those two videos and the instructions, very easy to learn the rules. Maybe the only thing that we had some issue with is just making sure we can interpret what stamp everything was. They do give you a card here. So again, you have themes of space, monuments, animals, flowers, vehicles. So it takes a little bit just to get used to what theme everything is. And then also you can go by color. Now, if you look here, and again, as a colorblind player, they very nicely, if it was just a color, I'd have a hard time with some of these colors. But if you look around the edge, there is a different kind of border that makes it easier for me to interpret what color it is. So I can look at it and go, that's yellow. This color, I'm not really sure what color it is, but I can look on the chart here and I can see that symbol and go, that's green. So they did a nice job in terms of putting these borders around the stamps, so that way you could make sure you know what color is there. So that was very helpful. However, when it came to the theme, it was a little harder to group them. Again, so we did have a little issue with trying to interpret what everything was, and that comes into play when you have some of these round scoring things where you can kind of go by color or theme. Again, color was easy for me to do because it did a nice job with making the cards, the stamps colorblind friendly. Theme we found was a little more challenging, but again, maybe with more plays. Also, there is a lot of variety with this game because with the scoring, at the end when you get into that show phase, there are different cards you can have here. So for this game, because we're learning the game, we put some of the easier ways to score. Same thing with the end game with the complete edges, but there are different cards you can play that with more challenging things. So again, it wasn't that difficult to make sure we had all the complete edges. So there is replayability with the again the way you can score, the way you get the end of the game, and again everything. With any of my experience with any Stonemaier game, they come with some of the best directions. They always have, good videos that they put out there. Again, with Rodney, with Watch It Played, Before You Play, they always have good videos out there showing you how to play. So again, that is something to keep in mind. Not only do you get good quality when you buy a Stonemaier game, you get good directions. And again, as you've seen in some of my other videos, that there have been a lot of games out lately with terrible rule books. I've never had that experience with Stonemaier games, and you get high. Again, the component quality was great. Game was this particular game was showing here, very close game. Only like a 2-point difference there at the end, and it was tight. Again, we could have made this a little more complicated with different scoring mechanisms. And it's kind of cool because you can only score one of these once. You have 3 rounds. When do you want to do it? Do you want to go too early, too late? I held off on color to the end, and I ended up scoring a lot of points on that, so that ended up being good. The game played quickly. It was tight. Again, this is just some initial thoughts. It was good. Would I say it's a great game? I'd have to give it more plays to be able to do that. But it was certainly fun. It's got a kind of a neat mechanism, because what's going to happen is you collect, and again, this could change based on specialists or some cards that come out here, but you're going to collect 6 stamps, and then there's a mechanism where you got to divide up your collection, and the other opponent, in this case it was a 2-player game, but imagine a 3-4-player game, the other opponents can take one of those piles, and that could mess up what you're trying to do. Not all the stamps, when you get them, are going to be face up, so there's a little bit of mystery in it. So certainly, just initially at $7, knowing that the game is colorblind friendly, knowing that there is variability, knowing, again, there's only $7, knowing that it had a good instruction book, I definitely think I got my $7 worth, again, with full retail price. And again, it's a 30-minute game. It's not the most complicated game in the world. At $30, I would have to get some more plays in before I let you know if I think the game is worth $30. But right now, it certainly was fun enough. Again, it's not, it wasn't something that was like, mind-shattering. It wasn't like, like this is the greatest game I've ever played. But it was certainly good enough. It was entertaining enough. It was easy to learn, easy to set up, easy to teach. And again, the game was close. So definitely got my $7 worth. I'll let you know later on after we play this game more. And again, colorblind friendly, good instructions. 2 issues that I know the Shogunstein has issues with a lot of games out there. And here I got a nice rule book, good videos to watch, and again, just nice mechanisms with being able to tell the colors apart. Same thing on the cards here. Just nice job being colorblind friendly. So definitely a decent game, but we'll let you know with more plays, and as we get more to different ways to score and different ways to end the game, we'll let you know how that works out. So if you see this in the bargain bin like we did, I would say, definitely worth, $7. Whether it's worth $30, give it a little more time. But this is a look at the stamp swap. 3 rounds, goes pretty quickly. Then you score at the end. Again, fun enough little game. This is the Shogunstein out.